Hey there, everybody, and welcome into episode 4 of Let's Talk About, where today I'll be discussing my latest hobby of collecting retro handhelds. Now, to give some backstory on this, also, before anything else here, too, I apologize for the long delay between episodes 3 and 4 here. Finally getting back on track with that. And that's that. So, to the hobby itself here, if you guys have been following me on BlueSky or Twitter or Discord for a while there, you know that the last couple of years or so now, actually, I've been steadily collecting these fun retro handhelds here that come in all shapes and sizes. So much to the point that I have over 20 of these things now, as featured in my couple of pictures here. Now, the one on the left is the more, I'd say, the neater of the displays here, where they're all arranged on my desk. The one on the right, they're also, hopefully, they're not that blurry or anything, because looking at them on OBS right now, for whatever reason, they're super grainy and poor quality pictures, even though I have one on my phone right now, the same one that's up here, and the quality is fantastic, so hopefully in the actual video it'll look fine. Now, this hobby of mine actually started even before the collecting and all that. I've always loved handheld gaming. Going back to the Game Boy Color, even farther than that, the Game Boy Pocket was my very first handheld I ever owned. I got that for, I think, my birthday or for Christmas when I was like 7 or 8 or 9 or something like that, and I've been hooked ever since. And I've had just about every handheld console out there. The Game Boy Pocket, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Advance SP, the DS, the 3DS, the PSP, the Vita. I did not have a 2DS though, actually, although I would not have minded that. I did also have a new 3DS for a while. Not sure what I did with that. Also not sure why I don't still have it, but I digress. And then more recently, I've been getting into the retro handheld scene. My first one of these I got, and I'll go over all of these here in detail later on, of course. The very first one of these I got was the Ambernick RG351P. For reference here, on the picture on the left, using my mouse here as if you guys can see it here, but also for my reference. The third shelf going from left to right, the middle one there, so it's between my white PS Vita and the gray OG DS. Yeah, the small black candy bar shaped handheld there. I got that for a birthday present when I was in Fayetteville, Arkansas. This would have been, I believe, January of 2021 when I got that. And it was one of the older models that Ambernick made. And of course, if you follow the handheld scene at all, you know that Ambernick makes a handheld like every other week, pretty much, or essentially like multiple times a month sometimes, really. I don't know how they crank them out so quickly, but they find a way. And yeah, that runs I believe it runs on Linux for its operating system there. And it can play all sorts of retro games there. Pretty much anything up to PS1 it can handle flawlessly. It's a very small device there. Dual analog sticks, inline shoulder and trigger buttons on it. So that what that means is that on your normal controllers there, you have like L1 and R2, and L1 L2 R1 R2. They're normally behind each other. So R2 and L2 are behind R1 and L1 there. Those are what's known as stacked shoulders and triggers. Whereas inline ones, it's just L1 and R1 are on the top of the device. The smaller buttons there, and then L2 and R2 are just literally next to them, left and right, to make it more pocketable. And I used that thing a lot when I first got it. Didn't really know much about the things at all. I think I actually even saw the thing on a Facebook ad of all things, and I was like, oh, that was pretty cool. So I looked it up on Amazon, and it was like $100 at the time, and it had just come out, I think, not that long ago. And the fact that it can play like everything, like Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, PlayStation, older arcade games there as well, Nintendo, Super Nintendo, even some Sega stuff there as well, actually, and a lot more I'm forgetting there too. the fact that it can play all those things for $100 was a crazy good value. And then fast forward a couple years later, I got my real first big handheld with this, the Retroid Pocket 3 Plus. Now, I forget where this one was in relation to the pictures I have here. I think it's above the PS Vita, so the third shelf there. And there's 5 handhelds per shelf here, by the way. These cool little wooden shelves I also got from Amazon to display these things. Yeah, it should be the black rectangular one there, and then the top right there. That thing I got also as a birthday present when I was living in Ohio. Much more powerful chipset, way better screen quality, resolution, all that stuff there. Dual analog sticks there as well, stacked shoulders and triggers, much more powerful processor. That thing can play even some PS2 and GameCube games, actually, around half or so of the library. And when that thing came out, that was only like $149. And at the time, it was like the best retro handheld out there. And it's still a very, very good one today. I love that thing to death there as well. And then this hobby has grown definitely more so over the last like year or so, with my having now, like I said, 20 plus of these things. And I'll get into why I enjoy the hobby and all that so much, but we'll do a little bit of roll call here first. Now I want to pull up, because I have the two pictures here, but I want to pull them up on my phone here as well, just for better visual reference. Just yeah, looking at my monitor here, it's kind of hard to tell which is which. So yeah, I figure this way make things a little bit easier on me. If I can find the picture here. Oh, maybe I deleted it off my phone a while back. Oh no, here it is. Never mind. Okay. So going from, I'll try to go through this somewhat quickly. I know there's a lot of them here. Top left there, so yeah, we're going to be doing obviously left to right here, and then top to bottom, it's from shelf order here. So very, very top left is my handheld PC that I'm also using to record this video with, the Asus ROG Ally X. This thing is an absolute beast. It's a Windows handheld, plays literally everything. Not even emulation as well, but obviously PC games there. It's an upgraded model from the original Asus ROG Ally. Same chipset and all that. Lots of other components have been upgraded and such. The biggest one, though, is the battery life, or battery size in general there. The original Ally only had a 40 watt hour battery, so you would drain through that thing super, super quick. The Ally X that's double the battery size at 80 watt hours, so this thing's battery just lasts forever in comparison. And I love it to death. I have a dot with a dot I ordered from Amazon also. A company called JSaux, I believe. JSAUX, I believe is how you spell out the name there. Multi-USB dock there. Has a USB-C port there as well for its power to plug in. Has an Ethernet slot there as well. And I have my headset, my keyboard, and my mouse plugged into it right now as well. So it's a full-on PC. I have it also hooked into my TV as well on my desk there, so it works super well for that. But I more so use the thing in handheld mode because, again, I love handhelds. Moving on from there, actually not featured in the either picture here because I kind of forgot I had it. My OG Nintendo Switch, black model. It would be, using the right pick for reference here, it would be in the second slot there right below the Ally X. I haven't actually used the thing that much lately. I still, of course, love the thing. I love all these things, by the way, to clarify. I wouldn't have bought them otherwise. And I will, of course, get the Switch 2 whenever that comes out later on this year. Probably won't be until, like, fall or winter, I would imagine, of this year. Moving on from there, number 3 is going to be probably my actual favorite handheld out of all of these, the AYN Odin 2 Pro. It's an Android-based handheld, runs on Android 13, has the really powerful Snapdragon Gen 2 chipset in it. So essentially, that means anything that can run on Android, this thing can run, and then some. This thing is an obscenely powerful Android handheld. I use it for all sorts of emulation stuff there, everything from all the old stuff there, the PS2 and GameCube, it runs flawlessly, even at like 2 or 3 times native resolution. It can even run Switch emulation, Wii emulation, even some PC emulation as well via a program called Winlater. I haven't really delved into that much yet. That'll be a project for another day. Moving on from there, also I was kind of going size-wise here with how these are set up here. Moving on from there, let me see. Looks like we have, where is the RG556? Oh, okay, at least in the first pick there, it's actually third there as well. But I would have the Odin 2 be third normally here. My first shelf there. That's the big main ones that I use. Also the most powerful as well, and also biggest size-wise there too. Yeah, so the Ambernic RG556, one of their better handhelds there as well. 5.5-inch screen, 1080p OLED, dual analog sticks there as well. That was Ambernic's competitor to the Retroid Pocket 3 Plus. The 3 Plus is better in my opinion. It's a little bit smaller and not quite as nice a screen, but beyond that, the 3 Plus beats the 556 in like in every way, shape, and form. Although the 556 is more comfortable, it's way more ergonomic, has like way more rounded grips to it and all that, whereas the 3 Plus and 4 Pro and all that are a lot flatter handhelds there. The bottom left one here with the grip on the outside, that's the Retroid Pocket 4 Pro. Has the Dimensity 1100 chipset in it, whereas the standard 4 has a Dimensity 900 chipset in it. After that, onto the second shelf here, that's going to be the TrimUI Smart Pro, probably the best value handheld right now. You can buy any of these handhelds, by the way. You can buy them with preloaded SD cards that have tons of games already on them. If you don't want to tinker with them and just want to buy just buy it outright to have games and jump right in, that's super, super handy there. I bought this one for the convenience factor because it has such a robust library already on it. Although I do also have a curated ROM library as well. So whenever I buy any of these new handhelds, I'll just take the SD card out of them that comes with them, load up whatever games I want, and then boom, I'm good to go. Because a lot of times there too, a lot of these games are still in Japanese or whatever, or just games you'll never play. So for the most part, it is better to just buy the handheld outright and don't have an SD card, and just use the internal storage, or just buy your own SD card or micro SD card, and then have your own ROM library and just curate it that way. That is the better way to go about it, in my opinion. After that is the Anbernic RG40XXH. You'll also notice that Anbernic has a very weird naming system with their handhelds. So the 40XXH there, just to clarify, is the 40 is 4.0, so a 4-inch display. The XX is just because it sounds cool, I guess. It's part of their XX library. And then the H means it's the horizontal handheld. There's also a 40XXV. That's, is it right below it there, actually? Yes, it is. Yeah, that's their vertical version of that same handheld. I have a gray one for the H and the white one for the V. The exact same chipset there and all that. The fourth one there, also one of my top favorites, is a throwback. That's the Anbernic RG35XXSP, 3.5-inch display on that one, and the SP, I forget what that stands for. I know it stands for something with the original GBA SP, but this thing is a dead ringer for that. Of course, a lot more powerful to play a lot more than just GBA games. It's Anbernic's first and, for right now, only clamshell handheld, actually. And for a lot of people, that was a huge selling point for that. And it worked on me because I love my OG SP, and I still have it, of course. Then below that is the R36S, another really good value handheld. I got this from AliExpress for just 28 bucks with free shipping, which is insane for a handheld like this. Really nice screen on it there as well. Dual analog sticks, got it with an SD card loaded with games already. Super fun little handheld there as well. Next shelf here, we have the aforementioned Retroid Pocket 3 Plus. The other ones I'm going to kind of cruise through a little bit more quickly just because they're not the actual, like, they are retro handhelds, but not like the Retroids and the Anbernics there and such. They're just like, can't think of the right word. More the mainstream handhelds, we'll go with that. But yeah, my OG PS Vita, which I loved a lot, of course, too. That was also how I first played Trails of Cold Steel way back, my god, almost 10 years ago now, actually. Holy shit. Also with Cold Steel 2, I first played it on that. Same with Sky first chapter and second chapter, also in California when I lived out there. After that, yeah, the RG351P from Ambernick also, they make a lot of handhelds. That got me started into this whole hobby here as well. The Not my original DS, actually. I didn't have one way back when I was younger. I just skipped right from the SP to the 3DS, actually. And then the DS here I bought from a store called Cash and Culture some time ago. Maybe like 15 years or so back there, just to have, really. And then, yeah, a little one right here below that is the Trim UI Brick. Same chipset that it's in the Smart Pro there. Same company and all that there, too, of course. This thing is tiny as heck. Like, way smaller than I was expecting it to be when I first got it a couple months back or a month or so ago. But the screen quality on it is super, super sharp. Games on this thing look incredibly crisp on it. I love it. Then I have two different models of the PSP here. The black one is my older one. I actually bought from my friend Zach years and years and years back. I still kept today. Then the black and red PSP, I don't remember where I got that one, actually. Maybe from Cash and Culture as well? I have no clue. But yeah, both of those things loaded with RPGs, and of course, you guys know I love my RPGs, so those were easy buys there. My original 3DS that unfortunately one of my dogs got to a little while back. Or I say a little while back, like 8 or 9 years ago or whatever. I left it out when they were by themselves, and they saw it as a chew toy. So they kind of bit a little bit of the top left corner there by the L button. It still does work and still powers on and everything. The L button does not work anymore, though, but that's fine. And then, yeah, my original Game Boy Advance SP, I got that as a Christmas present way back in 2002. My first game for that was Lunar Legend, and I beat that in like 2.5 days. I just played the hell out of it over Christmas break during school there, and I loved it, loved it, loved it. I know it's not the best version of Silver Star Story, but it's still near and dear to me today. And then finally, almost finally, the Game Boy Advance. That one I also bought from Cash and Culture just to have. Because yeah, I had the SP as my GBA model. I just skipped over the original Advance. And then the lime green Game Boy Color, which is actually my brother's. I just have it in here just for the sake of the picture. And yeah, the Switch is not featured here just because I forgot about it at the time. But really, yeah, for an updated picture, it would be in my first set of shelves here. So yeah, Ally would be first. And then Switch, then the Odin 2, and then, yeah, the Retroid Pocket 5, which I forgot about. Yeah, that's going to be right below the 556 here, actually. Retroid's latest model. It has a Snapdragon 865 chip in it, their most powerful that they've used yet. A fantastic screen. I think it's 5 inches. Is it 5.5? No, it's 5 inches. 1080p resolution, OLED display, and the OLED on this thing is fantastic. I've seen it in videos, whatever, does not do it justice, honestly. And also, with these handhelds, there's still so many more coming out or have been out that I really want to get as well. I actually have even a list on my phone as well for future handhelds I want to get, and I have, I think, 7 or 8 of them right here. I have 5 from Ambernick. The RG406V and H. Those are the more powerful models there as well. More powerful chipset there. The RG Cube and Cube XX. The Cube has the same chipset as the 406V and H. It has a 1:1 aspect ratio for it there. Just looks really cool. The Cube XX has their same chipset as the other XX models, so like the 40 XX H and V there, the SP and all that. Another one I want to get is the Miu Mini Flip, just because it's another clamshell there like the SP, but it also has dual analog sticks in it, funnily enough, which I've never seen in a clamshell before. So that alone is enough for me to pick it up. Also, the Ambernick RG34XX, that one is a dead ringer for the original Game Boy Advance, and that's also a lot of people's favorite handheld of all time. Ambernic loves doing that with their consoles here. As fun throwbacks there. And then the big one I also want to get eventually is the Odin 2 Portal. Same chipset as the Odin 2, but it's also bigger at a 7-inch display. The Odin 2 has a 6-inch display. It also has a 1080p OLED screen, and that thing is also fucking gorgeous. It is pretty pricey though. A lot of these things are fairly pricey, or pricey-ish. Of course, the Ally X is the priciest one there. I think brand new, it's like $700 or $800 right now. I got mine for a little bit cheaper because I traded my original Ally towards Best Buy, which knocked off a good bit towards that. But yeah, the Odin 2 was like around 400 or so. And like the Retroids, like the 4 Pro, the 5, and the Ambernic 556, those are about 200-ish there. So those are more like the mid-range handhelds thereabouts. But a lot of these also I just see as investment handhelds because they're going to be good for such a long time there, especially the Odin 2. That thing came out already. It's been a year at least since that came out, and it's still one of the best handhelds on the market, bar none. And the other ones there, they all pretty much do the same thing as far as what games it can play goes. But just the different form factors they come in is a big reason why I like these things so much. Because like, if I'm going to play, say, a Game Boy Advance game, I'm probably going to go to the SP or like the Trim UI Brick or even the 3 Plus or anything like that, just because the games look so great on those handhelds. If I want something more powerful, like the PS2 or GameCube game, then I also have options. I can play. I can use any of the 4 Pro, the 5 for the Retroids, by the way, the Ambernic 556, the Odin 2, or the Ally. Another big thing also why I love these things so much was learning about all of them. Like, these all come with different operating systems. Like, some come with Android, some come with Linux. Obviously, the Ally Edge came with Windows. So, learning about all those, tinkering with them, with all the settings there, the program called RetroArch, which a lot of these things use to play all the emulators and such there anyway. There's a lot of a learning curve to that, learning how that works, to get that optimized there, learning about all the different emulator cores you need to use, all the settings tweaks there and all that to make the games look and run the best they can, all that fun stuff there. And also just like collecting these things. I know some people might see it as e-waste there, which I definitely do understand there, of course, but I do try to use these things as often as I can just to rotate them in, just so I can still keep them charged up there, of course, and so they're not just gathering dust all the time. But at the end of the day, it's a fun hobby for me to collect these, and pretty much all of these I did buy with my own money. A couple of them were gifts. The 4 Pro was from my brother for my birthday last year. The 3 Plus also was a birthday gift. Then the 351p was also a birthday gift. All the other ones here I bought myself. And a lot of money's gone into this hobby, for sure. I won't say how much because it's going to be a lot, but that's fine. But yeah, it's just the fun of it for me all. Just having all the different shapes and sizes here. Buying the shelves there as well to display all these things on them as well. Just being able to talk about them as well, like on BlueSky or on Discord there. With other people getting into the hobby there as well. Oh, they'll just be like, they don't know anything about the hobby. It's like, oh, hey, these things are cool. Like, can you tell me about them? Or it's like, yeah, I'd be happy to. Because I just love these damn things. Because I just love video games. And being able to play, like, pretty much all my favorite games ever, like, nowadays, and also ones I grew up with, on a huge variety of handhelds, is pretty damn cool. Like, all my favorite PS1, PS2 games, GameCube games, because I grew up with them. Being able to play them on these handhelds here, just like on the go, or just like on my couch or in my bed or whatever, at a better quality resolution than on the native console, and also having extra stuff like achievements or codes, fast forward, save states, all that stuff there, just makes the experience even better. Like, I've gone through and played so many old games on these things just because, well, I love the game in general beforehand, but now being able to do it in, like, with fast forward and again all the other fun stuff there as well just makes the game so much more fun in my opinion. Now, eventually, yeah, I'll need to get probably more shelves. Of course, I want to buy more handhelds down the line there. I don't know how often I'll be able to, of course, but I do want to keep doing this hobby for as long as I can there, of course. Also, you didn't really mention the shelf I have here on the right picture. I actually got that from Amazon there, too, just to uh, assemble it yourself, multi-tiered shelf there. Nothing too fancy. It is heavy-duty plastic there to hold all the stuff there. Not that they're very heavy anyway, even with all the handhelds on the shelf there. There actually was supposed to be a fourth tier to that thing as well, but part of it actually came kind of bent to the point where it wasn't really usable. But it kind of worked out there anyway because it was almost too tall in my opinion. So just that right there works well enough for me. And yeah, the very bottom shelf there just randomly has a Netspots controller, the Trim UI brick box, and my PS4 case for Trails Through Daybreak, which, by the way, Daybreak 2 comes out on Friday. Cannot fucking wait for that. I'll get it on PS5, probably digital. I wouldn't mind buying a physical copy, too. But I want to get digital just so I can have it sooner. If I were to get physical, I'd have to wait for it to arrive and all that, and which is, I mean, that's fine and all that. I just would rather have the immediacy of playing it right away when it launches on Friday. Although, funnily enough, too, with that, even though I'll have it on PS5, I'll probably play it on Remote Play with the Odin 2. Just so I can, like, play like on my couch or my bed or whatever, just more comfortably. Even though, of course, the game will look amazing on PS5 on an actual TV and all that there, of course, too, which I will play on the actual PS5. I won't always do remote play with that, but having the option there is super, super nice. And I think that's everything. Yeah, I glossed over the handhelds, like what all they are. Went over my history with the handhelds there too. Why I like doing the hobby there and all that. So yeah. Yeah, pretty much it's just almost like me indulging myself here talking about these cool little things here. They're just all so cool. There's so many different shapes and sizes and colors to choose from here to appeal to a wide variety of people here. Now, of course, I have my personal favorites with color options there. Like, as you guys can tell, I prefer like black or white or gray models there for most everything. Just because they look so sleek, the black ones there. Although I will say the white ones, like the Vita, the Trim UI brick, the R36S, yeah, those really do look super sharp and in their white colors there. Same with the Game Boy Advance there as well, to a lesser degree. And yeah, that'll be that there, guys. I'm hoping to have more of these out here with less of a gap in between them like there was for this in episode 3. Also, Sky second chapter coming back here soon, too. I know it's been a while since I last streamed that. But yeah, we'll be back on track there with that as well. And that should be it for me. If I remember / feel like it, I will post links to where you can buy all the handhelds here. That'll take a lot to do. So I can do this much at the very least here as a general coverage for that. The AliExpress you can buy from Best Buy. That's where I got mine. Probably your best bet there. The Odin 2 you can buy from AYN's website there. Just look up AYN Odin 2 and you'll be good to go. Ambernick has their site there as well for most everything. Retroid does there as well. But for most of these there too, actually, another really good option that I bought a few of these from is AliExpress. It's ALI, then it's Express. They usually have really good deals on a lot of the handhelds here that you can get for cheaper from there than on the actual company's website. Also with free shipping a lot of times available there as well. Like what else did I even get from AliExpress? Some of the Ambernicks came from there. The Trim UI brick also did. I think the Smart Pro did there as well, and probably more I'm forgetting about. So that's another option there as well. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to wrap it up here, guys. I've already been going on for half an hour here or thereabouts. I also need to, of course, upload this for tomorrow, because I'm recording this late at night Saturday, but this will be going up on Sunday. With that, guys, as always, thank you for watching, and have a great day, and I will see you hopefully very soon for more Let's Talk About and more Trails in Sky second chapter. This has been Mr. Moosey7 signing off. Have a great day, and thanks for watching.